Hi, everybody. Welcome into Full Time. Before I get into it this week, would like to congratulate Carlitos Vela of my team, LAFC. On Sunday, he rewrote the history books, and then he rewrote it again, and then again. Hat trick to establish the single-season goal-scoring record at 34. Remarkable work, Carlitos. I never doubted you. We'll get to MLS and the playoffs, which are a couple weeks out, but I got to talk about the big story, and it is official. The Premier League is weird. I'm talking about 2015, 2016 Leicester City weird. There's no denying it now. Manchester City losing to Wolves. They lost to Norwich already this season. You have all sorts of weird things happening, and I want to get into the crux of it and see what's going wrong. Let's start with Liverpool. First of all, let's talk about what might be part of the problem. I think there are several things here at play. Last season was maybe the best in Premier League history. And maybe there is a price that comes with doing so well in European competition, because there's never been a season in Europe like that, in England or really anywhere, where you had the two finalists in the Champions League from the Premier League and you had the two finalists from the Europa League also from the Premier League. Maybe that takes something out of you. Maybe there is a replenishing period that needs to occur, and it hasn't right now because teams are just messy. So that's part of the problem. I think the other part of the problem is the middle class in the Premier League is getting very good. So last season, Manchester City and Liverpool ran away from the pack, and then you had that pursuing pack of Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Manchester United. And then you had the rest. It was pretty clearly defined lines. Well, all those lines are getting blurred this time around. I guess we could excuse Liverpool. They're 8 wins out of 8 to start this season, but they have not looked good. They took a loss in the Champions League. They conceded a 3-goal lead to Salzburg and almost let that one get away from them as well. And they have sputtered in the last couple weeks in the English Premier League against Leicester. Almost let points get away there. It goes on and on. But I can't really pick on them when you have Manchester City losing at home to Wolves. They had 75% possession. Stop looking at possession. I'm going to stop looking at possession because you know what? It doesn't matter because Wolves had 25% of the possession, had 2 counterattacking goals, 1 super counterattacking goal, and then had other chances too. So I'm going to stop looking at possession as criteria here. But Manchester City are having their issues, and then the group after them is an absolute mess. Tottenham Hotspur is hemorrhaging in something evil. By the way, Manchester City, 32 wins in 38 games. They will be hard-pressed to do that. The race is on in England. It should be Liverpool's, but everyone's fallen off their back wheel. But I think Liverpool have to be very cautious as well. The big problem is clubs like Tottenham Hotspur taking awful results. I mean, losing by 3. Being outplayed by Brighton. It's not the fluke results, getting outplayed, getting bombed by Bayern Munich. Spurs losing to Colchester in the League Cup. Everything going wrong. But, you know, there were signs at the beginning of the season. I picked them to finish 6th in my full-time Premier League preview, and I'm feeling really good about it. I said Manchester United are going to finish 4th. I'll get to them later. But we knew that they needed new players. Mauricio Pochettino said he needed to make changes, and they tried, and they did not, and now look at where they are. Hugo Lloris, when it rains, it pours. He's now injured. It's unbelievable. And then Arsenal get their first clean sheet in the Premier League since the opening weekend, and now everyone wants to buy stock in them, but I wouldn't buy them either because it's weird because they get this 1-0 result, and everyone's like, all right, maybe Arsenal are good. I think they were almost at 2nd at one point. I think officially now are 3rd, but do you want to buy stock? They are flawed. We knew all of this we knew in the offseason that there were problems with these clubs, and not many of them fixed it, including Arsenal. Defensively, we knew there were issues. They did well this week, but you know it's going to come back and bite them. But maybe they'll do well because the rest of the league looks to be down, and I don't see it correcting itself at all. The announcer, by the way, on the Tottenham game, nailed it. Tottenham, this was his quote, Tottenham in crisis. That's the name of the book for Spurs, and I don't think it's going to end very well. So I think the Europe burnout is one thing, and I think obviously not being active in the offseason is another one. And the third, I do believe, the Bournemouths, the Aston Villas. I hate when people say the Aston Villas. I'll just say Aston Villa, those kind of clubs are very hard to get out. The money in the West Ham, Crystal Palace, they're going to make it very difficult. I don't want to keep on the Premier League because I know this is a show for the world, but let's talk about Manchester United. And we talk about how weird it is, but is it weird? Is it weird? This is the new normal for Manchester United, really. I saw them maybe finish. Look, again, everything we said, maybe not the European afterglow because they got knocked out early. Not being able to get the players you need. So many times the fans are told by the clubs, we know what we're doing. And the fans look silly sometimes because the clubs do know what they're doing. They have a plan. Well, Manchester United's plan was get rid of Romelu Lukaku, try and bring in Mario Mandzukic. That didn't work. And then in the end, put all their eggs in the Marcus Rashford basket. And that has come back to bite them. I imagine this team is going to be very active, but some pundits and some ex-Manchester United players are saying they need 5 new players. Why not get a whole new team? Because that's what is happening. They lose to Newcastle United. The talent level is not there. It's this. There is with this group as it is. They are a relegation candidate. I'm not trying to be cute or funny, but they are a relegation candidate. That is the facts. The coaching. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should not be getting the blame for this. Some of it, but he is not ready for this. He was a coach in the Championship, not in the Premier League. He got this post because of his ties to the club and because of that hot start. And I think it shows the flaws of Manchester United, how smitten they get and nostalgic, and it falls apart for them. So Manchester United and the board, I'm very reluctant to throw blame there because I think they always have plans and they're pushing their youth academies coming along. Great. But what happens for the here and now? What happens if Manchester United, they're not going to get relegated, but they could be hovering around 13th, 14th, 15th place. That is not healthy. But getting back to the coaches, coaches in the Premier League invested in a big-name coach. I know Manchester United dude, Jose Mourinho, but that's a coach who's been there. I think you look at some of that new breed of coaches, Pochettino, Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, even further down, some big-name coaches that have come in, and they've been able to do it. Now, if you're a big-name coach, do you want this Manchester United job right now? I think you wait it out. You don't take it now. Manchester United, after when Louis van Gaal, these are the kind of coaches they're going. But you don't want this job right now. You want to be the guy who takes over from the guy. I don't know what to say about it. 5 new players? This is the reality of Manchester United, and I think we can put the finger on what is wrong with them. It's become very crystal clear, and they're going to keep losing. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it's a matter of time. Again, it's not his fault, but he'll fall on the sword. But what's left? What is left? Coaching makes a big difference. The big result of the weekend, the Derby d'Italia, which is Juventus and Inter Milan. Maurizio Sarri got a lot of criticism for benching Gonzalo Higuain and putting in Paulo Dybala. And what happens? Paulo Dybala scores minutes into the game. Then Higuain comes off the bench and scores. That is good coaching, folks. That is how you do it. Maurizio Sarri, che cosa fai? È spettacolo. What are the words? I used to know Italian a lot better. Bravo. Fratelli. I'll stop. What a big win. That was the win of the weekend for Juventus because the Serie A, and I said it here, those clubs are starting to percolate, namely Inter Milan. And Inter Milan and Antonio Conte, who I talked about last week, had an awful week. Had Barcelona down at their place and then got throttled in the second half. And then they lose this game when people were being critical of Maurizio Sarri. Well, Sarri ball works. Good coaches get it done. He came back from some health issues, and now Juventus are in first place, and it'll be hard to see them relinquish that because they are just better. They got the better players. They got the better coaches. So well done, Sarri. Let's talk about Barcelona. They have breathed life into their campaign. Lionel Messi, no mistake, no accident that he's healthy and they're doing well. Luis Suarez has been the great story, scoring incredible goals, looking like the Luis Suarez of 3-4 years ago. And I give Messi and Barcelona a lot of grief, but I like what's going on there. Now, there have been some talks that they want to bring back Neymar. And they go, do you mess things around now? Is this the right direction to go? I don't know if it's right or wrong. But when it comes to Barcelona, and Griezmann, who has really done nothing, and I was critical at the time. I don't want to say hindsight is 2020, but that's a lot of money for a striker on the back, starting to move towards the back end of his career. And Luis Suarez is now the guy there, scoring the goals. And there's this talk about Griezmann going to PSG, which would make sense. PSG probably would be happy now because they are a threat. They are maybe one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the world. I said it, and I'm on that bandwagon. But Barcelona, maybe bring back Neymar. And this is my point. In order to be successful, you have got to work well with Lionel Messi. Philippe Coutinho could not. He is no longer there. Arturo Vidal can work well with Messi. Luis Suarez works well with Lionel Messi. Ousmane Dembele is starting to learn how to play with Messi. It's not for everyone. You kind of have to kiss the ring. You got to let him do his thing. You kind of rub off his shoulder. Messi's been in a really... he did score a goal in an impressive win over Sevilla, but he's been in a very giving mood, and Suarez has been a beneficiary. And I love this Messi, finding the teammates, because he can draw all the tension and then some. But I think in the big picture, maybe Neymar is good because Neymar played well with Messi. We thought, and I am biting my tongue on this one because I said the exact opposite. I wanted Neymar to stretch out his wings and show what he could do. Well, maybe it's time to come home. That's what works with Barcelona. Fine guys. They've missed a few. Griezmann does not work well with Messi, apparently, although that is a very small sample size. Maybe Barcelona. It's been impressive. Messi can be influential without scoring, and that is a huge development. But Barcelona are going to be active, and they've got to, because the window to win a Champions League with Messi is closing. I think there's 2 years, maybe less. I still don't think they're going to win. They're still a flawed team. I don't think they're going to win the Champions League, but they're at least on the right path, and they're probably going to win that Spanish league as well with all the depth they have, because Real Madrid is very spotty. I wanted to talk about Bayern Munich, just to say OktoberFest. I won't talk about Bayern Munich, but OktoberFest, I want to add it to our holiday here in the United States. I think in the month of October, we should all go out and have a large pint of beer and sing songs like Rookie Suki and Prost and all of that. So here you go. Get out and enjoy OktoberFest. It's a great idea. And all the Bayern players are out drinking and enjoying it, so why can't we? Subscribe to Full Time. Max Bretos is my handle, and we're here for you.